good? What's going on, everybody? You already know who this is. And it's definitely your favorite soulful child. Yeah. Sure, coming back at you once again. We at the P.E.G podcast, Positive Energy Generation, where we are not only uplifting you with artists that's out here just spreading knowledge with their music and frequencies, but we are just giving people just like you, just like me, that's out here spreading their word, their passion, their resources. And man, you know, I'm always digging in the pot, looking for more positive people. And when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And you will never guess who I got coming to the platform today, man. He's a wonderful guy. It's so crazy how we actually met up, and we're gonna dive into it a little bit. So you gotta stay tuned. But I got my man, Miss Anish in the building. How you doing, Mr. Anish? How you feeling, man?
I'm doing awesome as always. That's the AAA answer for me. Awesome as always.
Man, it's such a blessing to actually be on with you and to actually vibe with you. I want the listeners to actually hear from you. I want to get more about who you are, what you do. And before we get into it, we'll make sure the vibe is right. But Mr. Anish, let everybody know at the Positive Energy Generation, what is your main purpose? Like, what do you do in life?
Well, I'm an Indian American, born and raised in India. Now live in the US. Plano, Texas is my home.
Hey, shout out Texas.
I am an information technology professional, and also I help people with stress management. IT professional is my full-time job, whereas helping people with stress is my passion. It seems to be my calling from above. So that's in a nutshell my quick introduction.
Hey, and when you say you are a stress relief, it's a coach, instructor.
Yes.
What made you actually start taking this path? I know so many people out there that deals with stress. You know, even me, I deal with stress on a daily basis, and it makes us do crazy things. Our body react to stress different. What made you actually want to dive into stress and make that, you know, a priority?
So there's two ways I can answer it. I can answer it from a materialistic plane and from a spiritual plane. And let me explain what those two are.
Okay.
I've kind of coined those two terms, or the concept of spiritual plane and materialistic plane. Materialistic plane I call the day-to-day life that we live with and deal with. You know, you go out, work, earn money, put food on the table. That's your day-to-day life, right? You have friends, and you deal with people, you deal with problems, and there's all sorts of stress in your life. That's the materialistic plane. Spiritual plane is another vantage point where you look at it from a spiritual standpoint. Why is all this happening? So you get a kind of big picture. So to answer your question, what caused me to take this path, materialistic plane answer is, or a day-to-day life answer is that my sister actually became a Reiki Master, and she initiated all of us in the family. So it just happened. And if I look at it from a spiritual plane, it was meant to be.
Congratulations.
It was meant to be. And if I can expand on that, so what is the purpose of human life? And so how, if I were to ask you, what is the purpose of human life? Well, how would you answer that?
What is the purpose of human life? I mean, I know we all have a purpose individually, but what is our collective purpose? I feel like it's to heal and replenish, but I cannot say.
So purpose of human life, there's several ways to look at it. You can look at it from a spiritual plane or a materialistic plane. Materialistic plane, day-to-day life, you want to live your life righteously, live it right, help people, lead a good life. And from a spiritual plane standpoint, your purpose in human life, as per my understanding, based on the research that I've done and heard and read about it from the realized beings, it is to get out of the circle of birth and rebirth. Because human incarnation is the only incarnation in which you can get out of the circle of birth and rebirth.
Wow.
That leads us to the concept of why was this creation created, and what was the why did the creator create all this?
Right.
Right? That's what would be your next question.
Right. Why the creators?
So the creator created this to experience itself. When there was nothing but the single dimension of higher consciousness, and I'm talking from a spiritual standpoint right now. I'm talking from a spiritual plane, as you can see.
Okay. Yes, well, you are.
So the creator created this to experience itself, and it expects that the souls that it put out on this planet, they would eventually go through different births and rebirths. And when the soul receives a human incarnation, there is a way for them to merge back into the source or the higher consciousness or the father, or different religions and different names by which we call the higher consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So the purpose of human life in a nutshell to you would be
to get out of the circle of birth and rebirth.
To get out of the circle of birth and rebirth.
And then I don't know, I know lots of people do yoga. Do you do yoga?
I do like stretch yoga.
Yeah.
Like in the morning time, I do stretch yoga to wake my body up.
So if you or anybody else among the listeners have attended yoga classes, the last posture in the yoga class is what? Shavasana. It's the corpse pose. For those of you that have attended the yoga classes, the last posture is Shavasana, which is translated into English as corpse pose.
Corpse pose.
Corpse, dead body. So another answer of purpose of human life is to prepare for death.
But that's what's a topic that a lot of people run from, you know what I'm saying? Like you said something crazy there, like the purpose of life is to prepare for death. Like that can spook a lot of people right now that's listening, because that's a topic that a lot of people run from. No, even when it comes to talk about life insurance, not really people want to talk about life insurance or how you can protect yourself. This is the like you said, there's a spiritual side and there's an earthly side. We on the earthly side, you want to protect yourself, protect your family assets. We don't really want to talk about the death side. Everybody says it's a sad topic. It's a sad topic. But it's crazy how you brought that up. Even in the spiritual realm, you have to prepare for death.
So from a spiritual standpoint, the meaning of life, purpose being prepared for death, is because at the end of your life is when you merge with the higher consciousness. That's how you get out of the circle of rebirth, birth and rebirth. Because there are techniques like meditation, which allow you to raise your energy and merge with the higher consciousness. Meditation is a technique by which you can get out of the circle of birth and rebirth. And that happens at the end of your life. And that is why I say purpose of life, as gross as it may sound, is to prepare for your death.
That's big.
So I will let that sink in a little bit.
Say that one more time.
And I said I will let that sink in a little bit for the listeners.
For the listeners, okay. Yeah, I'm over here. I'm all in it too. That's why I was like, hold on, repeat it. Yeah, let it sink in. That was pretty big what you said, because you have to. I don't think I ever thought about it that way.
So let me re-summarize for everybody's benefit. Purpose of human life. Human life is a prized possession that you have as part of your birth and rebirth. And the purpose of human life is to get out of the circle of birth and rebirth. And that human incarnation is the only incarnation in which you can do that. You cannot do that as an animal. You cannot do that as a plant or whatever other 8.4 million species that are there on this planet Earth. human incarnation is the only incarnation in which you can get out of the circle of birth and rebirth. That brings us to the next question.
Is the world, as far as like, is the world an illusion? When you think of the world, when you think of it as far as like an illusion or on a stage, because those are two different things.
Yes. So let me explain that. William Shakespeare said that all the world is a stage and we are mere players on it. I'm paraphrasing what he said. I'm not sure if I have the exact words, but what he said was the world is a stage and we are mere players on this stage. And that to me, coming from a playwright, coming from a person who writes plays and stories, a famous one, that was, I think, his spiritual aha moment. So to explain that, let me do a little role play with you.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
So I will have you think about your favorite Hollywood actor or actress, and think about that actor or actress. Think about 2 movies and what their character names were in that.
Okay. Well, we got Angelina Jolie. She was played in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and she was Mrs. Smith, of course, and then she played in Salt, the movie, and she was Evelyn Salt.
That's good.
Okay.
Those are 2 of my favorite movies, by the way.
Hey, let go. And then you got Julia Roberts.
Okay. No, that's good.
Oh, that's good. Just
Jolie.
One?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Angelina Jolie. Cool. Yeah, all right, cool. Let's go.
Okay. So just imagine you are Angelina Jolie.
All right.
And director comes to you and says, hey, Miss Jolie, I want to do a movie with you. It's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's got Brad Pitt in it, and it'll be a lovely movie. I want you to read the script and let me know what you think about it. So you take the script, you read the script. It is totally unlike any movie that you've ever done. You read the script and return it back to the director and say, Mr. Director, I'm so sorry, I will not be able to do this movie. Director is surprised. He says, why? He says, that's against my image. I'm trying to build an image in Hollywood that's against my image. Sorry, I can't do the movie. Director is insistent. Director says, Angelina, if you don't do the movie, I'm not going to make the movie. I really want you to do the movie. And he returns the script back to you. You read it for 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 20 times. And then finally, after 3 months and 20 readings, you give the nod to the director. You agree to do the movie. Movie is shot for 9 months. For those 9 months and 3 months, 12 months, 3 months you were reading the script and 9 months you were shooting the movie. You actually transformed yourself into Mrs. Smith. You were not Angelina Jolie anymore. You were Mrs. Smith, talking, walking, thinking, speaking like Mrs. Smith.
That's deep.
And movie is released. Everybody appreciated you. You were nominated for an Academy Award. You win an award. Then you come back after 12 months to becoming Angelina Jolie again. Right?
Right.
And then 3 years later, the second director comes to you and offers you the script of Evelyn Salt. Movies titled, you play the title role.
Okay.
You read the script. It's a very different movie. And you again return the script to the director, say, I'm sorry, I've stopped doing action movies. I will not be able to do this. I'm looking for a rom-com movie now.
Okay.
Director is again insistent on doing the movie. History repeats itself. This time you read the script for 6 months before you give the nod. Movie is shot for 12 months. So it's 18 months you're speaking, thinking, talking, walking like Evelyn Salt.
Dang, that's crazy.
You transform yourself into Evelyn Salt because you're a professional actor, right? You have to put your best into the role.
Right.
So history repeats itself again. 18 months later, your movie is released, you win an Oscar again, and you come back to becoming Angelina Jolie again. So why am I telling you all this?
Why are you telling me all this?
Mm-hmm.
Because will she adapt to she adapt to the energy that she had to play those roles? So, I mean, I guess it all ties into who we are.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So the reason I was doing this role play with you is because this story, this Hollywood story role play that I did, is pretty similar. It has a strong analogy to our lives. How so?
Yeah.
Would be your question.
How so?
So before I answer that, let me ask you, who are you? Who's the real you?
Is the real me?
Yeah. If
How do
I
you?
were to say, Char, who are you? How would you answer?
But how would you how would you answer that in words? You know,
That's my
somebody asks you like, who's you? I can show you who I am authentically, you know, by being around you, by energetically knowing me. But like, how can you put that in words without feeling either being narcissistic about saying too many words, or actually being able to explain it in one perfect way? Like, how do you do it?
So let me give you a clue. The clue is that the answer that you will give me is never changing. You could say, I could say, if you were to ask me who am I, my answers could be one of the following. I could say I'm an IT professional. I could say a stress management coach. I could say I'm an engineer. I could say I'm an MBA. I could say I was a cricket player some time back. You know, all those are attributes. Those are not the answers to who the real person is, real entity is. Real entity is which never changes.
Never changes. I don't think I ever thought about it like that. You're making me think differently.
So the real you in real person, real entity in all of us is our soul. Right?
Right.
Soul takes on a body changes, body is born, it grows up, it decays, it dies, but the soul never dies.
The soul never dies. That's true. That's facts.
So when I say who is the real you is your soul.
Let's go.
Right?
Right.
So now let's come back to the Hollywood story and how it is analogous to our life story. So in this story, loosely, if I were to loosely compare the story to our lives, Angelina Jolie is equivalent to our soul. Mrs. Smith was an incarnation that the soul took, which could be Char. And once Char's role in this world is over, the soul goes back to the source and then takes on another incarnation, another body. That was Evelyn Salt, which could be your next incarnation.
That's true.
Right?
Right.
Are we good so far?
I'm good. I'm like, you got my attention. I'm good.
Okay. So what is the big difference? There's one key difference between the Hollywood story and our lives.
One is a movie and the other is reality, right? Well, but they're both. Well, you can think about it. Life is like a movie if you think about it. So
yeah,
there's no difference.
Let me bring it back to William Shakespeare. The world is a stage and we are mere players on it. Right? Yeah. So Mrs. Smith and Evelyn Salt had read the script cover to cover for 3 months or 6 months, respectively. Does Char know what is going to happen in the next hour?
No, I don't.
But you're walking the script, right?
I'm walking the script, though.
Yeah, so that's the big difference.
All right, they had the script in front of them, and I don't have a script in front of me.
You don't.
I like how you put that. I like that.
So the world is a stage. It's a movie. It's a mega movie, which has whatever the world's population is, those many actors in this movie. And the director is the higher consciousness sitting upstairs.
Right.
Who has defined each and every person's role. And we are all walking our scripts. So in the movies, you have a hero, you have a heroine, you have a villain, you have a comic actor, you have all sorts of characters in the movie.
Right.
So in the movie of life, again, there are all sorts of characters. If you just sit back and think for a second.
It is all type of characters in life. So you speaking on character, who is Anish? Like who's Anish and what's your character?
My character and your character always changes. We don't know what our script is. So to answer your question, whether the world is an illusion or a stage, I answered the question how the world is a stage, right?
Right, you did. So how is the world an illusion?
Illusion is because if you look at it from a spiritual standpoint, it's all illusion. It's not real from a certain perspective.
Mm. How so?
Movies are not real, right?
Right, movies not real.
That's why it's an illusion.
The life is real.
Yeah. So we covered what is the purpose of human life. We covered how the world is a stage or an illusion. That brings us to how do you take all these concepts and bring it together to P.E.G.
Right. So you take these concepts and put them together and bring them to P.E.G. by one, acknowledging everything you just said, acknowledging that's where you want to start, and feel like you can empower people, impact people by bringing a message like you had. You had a powerful message, make me think that like you said, the world could be a stage or an illusion, just depending on the perspective, depending on if you're looking at a spiritual realm or you're looking at it in an earthly point of view,
So there is one particular character that I want to still add on to this story. Okay. Is a very important and strong character. It's the mind. It's the mind.
Oh, snap.
Mind is very powerful.
It is.
I equate mind to ego. I'll give you two statements and tell me which one of the two is correct.
Okay.
Ayn Rand, one of my favorite authors. I don't know whether you've read The Fountainhead or heard of the book Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. The underlying theme in that is ego is the fountainhead of success and human progress. Ego is the fountainhead of human progress or success. Let that sink in for a second.
Okay, I like that.
Right? That's one statement. Okay. And second statement is from a realized being, contemporary realized being, who says ego is the biggest roadblock to spirituality.
Oh, yeah.
Now tell me, which of those two statements would you say is correct?
I like the second one. The second one.
You like the second one? Which one of those two are correct?
I feel like the second one's correct.
Both are correct.
They both are correct.
Both are correct, and you'll be surprised that both can coexist.
They both can coexist together?
Yes. Yes.
How so?
Live example is Steve Jobs.
Okay.
Steve Jobs had a very strong professional ego, which made him a good leader, which brought iPhones and iPads and iPods to the world. He was known to throw the product out of the window if it did not meet his 100% specs. That was his ego. That was the fountainhead of success for Apple. And he actually went to a guru in India and he checked his ego at the door and took the path of spirituality.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, you got to read, Google it, and you'll find some more details on that.
Okay, definitely.
So when I said both these statements can coexist, again, I go back to my materialistic plane and spiritual plane concepts. You can look at a situation from a materialistic standpoint and say that ego is the fountainhead of success and human progress. If you go to the spirituality plane, you got to check the ego at the door.
You got to check the ego at the door. Thanks.
Because if the mind controls you and says, I, me, myself, that will never lead you to spirituality.
No. It's full ego when you say, I, me, myself.
Yeah. So,
well,
purpose of human life is a stage or an illusion. Ego, the two statements from spiritual plane and materialistic plane.
Yeah.
Put all these things together, and take a situation where now I'm bringing it back to P.E.G now.
Okay, we're back at P.E.G.
Yeah. So positive energy generation.
Yeah.
Who needs P.E.G? People who are upset, people who are not happy, people who are upset.
Everybody needs P.E.G.
Everybody needs P.E.G.
Everybody needs P.E.G. Because I say that because it's like a bath. I feel like, I tell my kids this all the time. Like, you take a bath and maybe tomorrow, you get up, you're like, I'm okay. I cannot take a bath. But then the third day, you cannot push not taking a bath. You gotta take a bath. Like, you gotta take you a bath every day to be clean, as we say. So I feel like our spirit, our mind, it takes that same journey. Sometimes you gotta take a bath. And I feel like positive energy is that bath. You don't wake up positive. You can wake up, stump your toe, and then be mad for the rest of the day. It's all because you stumped your toe, or you can be late for work and then keep putting out negative energy, and all day you be negative. But if you turn on P.E.G, you get some positivity. If you got people to uplifting with you, got people that had a bad day with you, you got people that had, got tired of their kids with you, but they coming and they coming on P.E.G and they sharing that positivity with you. They let you know that you're not alone. You get to listen to good music, positive music that's not being put out in the world on a radio like that. So it's exclusive music, and you dive into the artists. I feel like everybody needs positivity. Everybody needs positive energy for generations to come. So that's why it's positive energy generation.
Yeah. So all the concepts that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Let me take an example to bring it together under the P.E.G umbrella.
Okay, let's do it.
So one of the persons that I helped with as part of my stress management coaching was a person about my age, and who had never experienced, who had a very so-called terrible life, awful life so far. Again, from a materialistic standpoint.
Okay.
When he was growing up, his parents got divorced, and he did not know what parental love was. He was taken advantage of as he grew up. And when he came to me, he said that he had been to a few therapists, and they all put some social labels on his forehead. You got ADHD, you got PTSD, you got OCD, and you made all the wrong decisions in your life. So I spoke to him for a couple of hours, and I told him, none of your decisions were wrong. You probably are not an OCD or a ADHD or a PTSD, but none of your decisions were wrong. He says, how so? So I said, pick a decision that you think you made a wrong decision. So he picked a relationship that he made a wrong decision to go into his first relationship, which turned out to be sour, and the lady took advantage of him. So I said, if I were to put you in a time machine and take you back to that particular moment, would you make a different decision? First he said, I would. I said, you don't know the outcome of the decision. He says, if I don't know the outcome of the decision, then I would make the same decision. So I said, bingo, none of your decisions are wrong as long as your decisions are well-informed decisions. Because come to think of it, what really upsets you, what really puts you down, causes stress, is the mind.
The mind, no, that's facts. I feel like mind, not knowing.
Mind, by the way, a very interesting description of mind is a mad monkey bitten by a scorpion, fed on wine.
What?
The chatter doesn't stop. And what is the mind always thinking? Your mind, my mind, they're all the same. It's thinking either it's brooding about the past.
Yeah.
or speculating about the future.
I like that. It's true. That's facts.
Right? So if I were to ask you, can you ever recreate a past moment?
Can I ever recreate a past moment?
No.
No, because I burned those bridges.
That's gone. That's gone. It's past.
I can't recreate a past moment.
Now, talk about the future. Can you 100% predict any outcome in your life?
No, if that's the case, we all be billionaires. So
there you go.
No, it's not.
So mind is thinking about the past or the future. Both of them are BS. Right?
Right.
And what is it doing in essence? It is robbing you of the only real moment, which is the power of now.
Yeah, the present moment.
Right?
Right now, right.
So you got to understand the games the mind plays. And if you understand the games mind plays, you understand that life is an illusion or a stage, and you know what the purpose of human life is, then that if you can internalize these concepts, you will be a much happier person.
And this helps all alleviate, the stress, right? Like
absolutely.
That is so crazy. Like when you put it in that perspective, when you, like you said, when you put in the analogy of the monkey, and when you talked about how like the different perspective as you look at it off the bat, you start thinking about different ways in your life. You know, I'm just sitting here listening to you. I'm thinking about different ways in my life. I like, wow. Like if you actually put it in that perspective, what am I stressing about? I'm really deriving myself all this time from the present moment.
So you would stress about relationships?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, relationships are all, you're all playing a role, right?
Yep.
Why bother? Right? And you get attached. Attachment leads to
attachment or obsession.
Attachment leads to you feeling, if you lose a person or a thing or a place, if you're attached to something and you lose it, you feel bad, you grieve. But it's all a stage. Nothing is yours. You came into this world alone. You're going to go alone, empty-handed. So why
do you think when we think like that when it comes to like us dealing with a loss, do you think there'll be a lot less heavier on our mind, on our spirit, if we think in that mindset? Because this year through COVID, as you know, this year through COVID has probably been the craziest year. I'm talking about like people have lost loved ones, some people have lost their lives. So do you think thinking in that mindset will help us relieve the stress even in tough moments?
I'm going to make a statement. I hope people take it in the right spirit.
Okay, me too.
Whatever is happening, whatever has happened, whatever will happen is perfection.
There ain't no mistakes.
Everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a script. They haven't read the scripts, unlike Hollywood.
Unlike Hollywood.
Right?
Yeah.
So, as Angelina Jolie, you read the script for Evelyn Salt and Mrs. Smith. But as Char, you're still walking the script, but you don't know the script.
Don't know it.
So, have faith in the higher consciousness who has created everything which is perfect. Everything around us is perfection. And I can dive deeper into it if you want, to prove that everything is perfection. Example is, you take a seed, sow it in the soil. Looking at the seed, do you know there's a plant that will come out of it?
No, you don't.
Will come out of it?
No, it's a plant, and it says that the tree can come out of it, but you don't know.
That's perfection. How human beings are born. They come out of the womb from an amniotic fluid, which is completely immersed in fluid, and the baby comes out, and it comes into fresh air, and all its 11 systems are functioning perfectly. Respiratory system works, digestive system works, is able to speak, cry, see, smell. Isn't that perfection?
That's perfection.
And if the higher consciousness has created all these perfect things, we should trust that higher consciousness, that whatever it has created is all perfect.
It's not perfect.
Whether it is COVID or whether it is so-called perceived happy moments or happy parts of your life. Happiness, sadness, good, bad is all a state of mind.
It's all a state of mind. It's all how you perceive it.
So bring all these concepts together, and if you can identify your sources of stress, I can help you give a different perspective to those. In fact, you can do that perspective yourself. If you think about it in the context of life is a stage, we're all playing our roles. We should put our best effort in every situation, not worry about the outcome, because outcome is never in our control. And the real purpose of human life is to get out of the circle of birth and rebirth.
And prepare for death. That's crazy. This literally, like you said, is this how you actually deal with positivity on a daily basis? You break it down and just like that.
Yes.
That should take like a lot of weight off your shoulder just by thinking about it. Like, okay, I see you out here working. I see you out here grinding. I like that. I really do, because I feel what you're saying, because I feel like a lot of us really needed that, really needs that, and still do. Because if you think about it, when you say COVID, whatever is already out there, whatever is already in the creators already done is perfection. Like you said.
Yes.
And
it is all perfection. Let me leave you with a final mantra that I have, which I practice almost every day for every situation.
Okay.
My one-liner for every situation, which I have very strongly internalized and I live by it, is very simple statement. There is something positive in every situation. You just got to find it.
You just got to find it. There is something positive in every situation. You just got to find it. Hey, now even when you being positive, you can't even be sleep. You can't be lacking. You got to stay. That's why I like positivity. You got to wash yourself with it. You got to find it. I like what you said, in every situation.
And a very close friend of mine who has a health condition which has no cure lives by this statement and says he is blessed with that health condition. He doesn't say he has a disease. He says he is blessed with that health condition.
Right.
And it comes from his heart. Imagine the power of this statement. There is something positive in every situation. You just got to find it. And that person has found a positivity even in a health condition which has no cure.
There's just no cure. There was just no cure. And if you could be positive, and that's what you crazy, like, you could be positive in that state of mind, you can be positive. Anybody can be positive, because I feel like kids that have cancer, they are strong, because they have to find a different way to be positive. When children are going through things, they have to see the parent be strong, and they're strong because they're scared, they don't know. So when I see people that go through things like that, just for example, they go through that and be strong about it, and you don't know that they go through it. Like, some adults have went through cancer and have been the most positive people I've known. Then I know some people that has cancer and they like life has just stopped and everything just went down, and it's like seeing them deplenish. Then, if that makes sense, and seeing their life stop and just slowly decay. But then you got this other person that's going through the same thing, but they positive with it. They very positive with how their life gonna go, and they don't know how the outcome is gonna come. They're just being positive with how they feel and what they've been blessed to see another day, to be able to do this and be able to do that. And I feel like when I see individuals that do that, it puts another type of strive in me, because I got injured in the military, so I have an internal issues. So I don't have a working liver like most people do. They liver working about, maybe hopefully a lot of people out there that don't drink got 100% liver, but mine's not like that. It's under 50%, and it's growing. It's getting better. It's healing. So I'm not the type of person when you see me drink like that. I'm not the type of person. But I created positive energy generation is because of when I got my second chance in life, when I got injured in the military. I promised that I wanted to bring something to the community, not just to that, but some to myself that I show that I'm not scared. Others shouldn't be scared. Others should be uplifted, give their flowers while they're alive, because those are the things that we should be doing to help heal each other, to help bring each other closer, because we're all going through something, whether you're in the mind or in the body and the soul, we're all going through some type of fight. And when you see a person that physically going through something and they're not negative about it, I feel like if you don't turn positive by looking at that, it's contagious. If you don't get positive by that and you don't get empowered by that, it's like you're not going to be positive, because you have to be willing to accept what is being shown.
Very well said. Very well said.
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage you to use some of the concepts we spoke about today in your life and bring it back to the audience here. See how these concepts helped you.
Yeah, always, man. So before we leave, what are some reasons why you decide to bring these concepts, these methods, these techniques of how to heal, how to look at life differently? Why you decide to bring that to the community?
Again, from a materialistic standpoint, it just happened. I felt that I would like to give back to the community, give back to the world what I've learned and what I've practiced, and it is very fulfilling, very fulfilling. Even if I can make a small difference in any one person's life, it is much more fulfilling than my 1 year of IT professional job.
Yeah, IT is no joke, man. IT is no joke.
Yeah,
you're smart and you're giving out the information.
So that's the materialistic answer. Spiritual answer is it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. I like that.
And we did not talk about a couple of other concepts. Maybe we can talk in a follow-on session, depending on how people like this or don't like it. What is their feedback? We can talk about Reiki, and we can talk about karma.
Wow, yeah. Reiki, I know. Me and my wife had dove into Reiki, wanted to learn more about Reiki. We had started looking at a Reiki coach and all that. She actually a friend that's into that. That's holistic healing. So I mean, we definitely gotta dive in more. I share your website. So definitely gonna share with individuals that's on here in the P.E.G podcast. Playing anywhere, depending on whichever platform you're looking on or you're playing this from. You can go to the information box and you guys can pull up this information as well. It'll be there, so it'll be right there. You can go check it out, his website. But definitely, man, we gotta definitely link up, and we definitely can do more sessions, more P.E.G connects like this, because this is what we need to bring to the community. This is what we need to bring out and talk about more, so more people can know how to take away stress, how to enjoy life, how to enjoy the present moment. Like what you said is not just a problem that I see myself deal with it every day and try every day to be better in, but people to the left of me, people to the right of me, my family, my friends, loved ones, people on social media. Like there are so many people that literally needs to be heard, hear what you have just said, and they're going to be exposed to that just by being on the P.E.G podcast. So y'all better go listen. Y'all better go check my man's out, because he's there. And I want you to share your social media if you got any social media, because like I said, your website will be shown, so you could throw the website out there so people that are listening, they can go ahead and follow. But what is your social media if others right now want to get off and connect with you, or later connect with you and share? Where can they find you?
I will share those details with you so you can put it in the podcast.
Hey, I like it. Look, there he lets y'all know y'all got to stay all the way through, and it'll be at the details below. But man, I love this. We could definitely do this more. Like I said, this is what we need.
And I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm grateful to you for bringing this to your audience.
Thank you.
If I can be of help to anybody, as I said, making a positive impact in even one person's life is very much more fulfilling than a full year of an IT job. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And you guys, if y'all want to know more about Reiki, you want to know more how we could dive into karma, right? Make sure I'm saying that right. I'm saying it right? Karma, and how we deal with these things on a daily basis. You want to stay tapped in to P.E.G podcast, because Anish, he's gonna be back. I'm telling y'all, he's gonna be back. We're gonna come out with some more sauce, some more content, but I wanted to bring more positivity and let you guys know how we deal with this, how you can deal with this. And we're not alone, right? You see me working on it, Anisha's worked on it and be able to help himself, to help others. So the more we spread, like you said, we impact at least one person that's listening. It'll be more than just working any job that we've ever done. And hey, Anish is a busy man. He's working IT. His family is a busy people. They all in the grind together. But the one thing I know that he has shared with me is that he cares. He cares about how people spiritually are in the world. He cares about spreading the positivity. So he's not going to be a stranger onto the podcast. He's definitely coming back. So we're going to be talking more about Reiki, more about karma. So stay tuned. Anish, I got to tell you again, man, thank you. I got to shout out my wife for this one. She's the reason why you have connected with each other. And like I said, she spoke so much highly of you. I'm like, just give me the number. We got to chop it up, you know? So I really like the communication that you have had with me, the patience with me. And man, look, we're going to do great work coming back and talk about more about how to heal the mind, the spirit together.
Hey, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Let's go. It was meant to be. So nobody told y'all today, tomorrow, yesterday that they love you. Shar loves you on the P.E.G podcast. You got my man Anish loves you. And look, go spread that love today, all right? You may not know the next person that you're going to open the door for, but you can tell them that they are welcome. You can tell them that they appreciate it and they are loved. We love y'all, and stay tuned. And we are leveling it up at the P.E.G podcast. Let's go, Anish. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.